See, that makes you look like
a flip-flopper
or a fool, right? But at the same time, if my friend stops talking to me because of their partner, for example, and she and the partner stop talking, and she comes back talking to me, will I stop talking to her? No. However, I'll deal with her different. I also try to empathize, try and put myself in her shoes. So sometimes, and let's talk about, a lot of times, not necessarily because the person that you're dealing with is a cheat. It also has to do with the fact that the person may just have some insecurity, and some concerns of their own that they haven't dealt with, and maybe they may have a history of someone maybe messing with them in the past, or having to maybe cheat on them, and that fear just driving them to make these come to these requests of their partner and say, well, you can't talk to this person, can't talk to that person. But that can also put you in a very uncomfortable state, because now you can't be yourself, because now you have to change to fit the relationship. Not to say changing to make your relationship better is a bad thing, but if it's at the detriment of your happiness, then there's some concerns there.
Okay, so now I'll jump to a question that's maybe ahead, like future-wise. I will ask, let's say you were to get married, or when you get married, and your wife now tells you, stop talking to this friend. What would be your answer?
There has to be a reason. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, would you then ask her, oh, what's your reason? Like, she needs to justify before you do.
It's necessary because that will help me understand why my lady is coming to that conclusion. To say, stop talking to this person is like, you might as well just order me around.
Basically.
Right? So you have to say, honey, this makes me feel this way. Or this person has done this. Or I've seen this person. You know what I mean? There has to be something, Or like, if they're doing something around you that makes you feel uncomfortable, then you bring that to my attention. Now it's my job to acknowledge that, and if I have to tread differently with this person because for the sake of my relationship, then I have to, because it might be necessary to for the betterment of my relationship that I do that. Now it doesn't mean that I'm going to cut the person off. It just means that I have to respect the person I'm with, respect my relationship, and also respect the relationship that I have with that person, to not mix all of them to start a fire that I may not even have the ability to put out.
Makes sense. I mean, in that question, for me, I've actually had I won't even say if it's a chance, I've gone through it. Like, I've experienced it. Yeah. And it was very, very different from what I thought it would be, because, okay, I've been friends with this person for a very long time, and it's like, I counted on this person. They were there for me. Like, they're the one I look to in case of anything. Yeah. Now, the person they're with is not comfortable with me and his friendship. And it's based off of that, like, his girl's own insecurities, and I can't help that. So for me, I am always the person to say, you know what, if it'll make you happier and you have a peaceful home and happy life, whatever, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay for you to just cut it and be on your... But that's the problem that happened, because it's like, yes, he went ahead and cut me off, but it realized like that wasn't making him happy. Like, he still would prefer to be around me, or still prefer to have that friendship that we had. But I had to come to the understanding to be like, you know what, I'm not going to do this back and forth game with you, because when it comes down to it, your partner doesn't want you having this. And no matter what the situation is, she trumps me. Like, you guys are married, you have kids together, you have like a family. So for me, not to even continue to entertain this, or like put myself in this whole mix that I don't even want to be in, it's best I stop talking to you. And best I even block you and just did that. Because I'm not saying I understand the approach that the woman is coming at me with, because she's never had a conversation with me to at least even be like, you know what's going on or anything. And it's not like anything's happened between me and her partner. But like, you automatically coming for me off the rip. But at the same time, I see where she's coming from, because I feel like it's based off of what he's feeding her.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you're here, I'm here, and then all we have is this middle person. I'm the one talking to the middle person, you're talking to that middle person. Both of us are not talking.
Also, going back to what you said, if you guys have that kind of relationship, and maybe the partner sees that, oh, like, you and this girl actually maybe may sit on the phone and converse, but you come home, you don't talk to me.
That's what it is.
So then they're gonna be like, no, if you're not gonna talk to me, then you're not gonna talk to that person, which is fair.
But that's the thing, like you.
It's not fair, but it makes sense, because obviously they'll be jealous.
But that has nothing to do with an innocent person that's on the side, because I have nothing to do with whatever's going on in your household. Yeah. So for me, that's why I said from the get go, when the female is saying, "Oh, I'm not comfortable with you," I'm like, "Homie, make the person happy. Go ahead, stop talking to me." But then it's like, even we went so many years years and then didn't talk, and then out of nowhere call, oh, I'm calling to check on you, how are you doing, blah blah blah. And I feel it's based off of the history and everything. But okay, you need to also decide and make a choice. And it looks like my friend wasn't willing to make that choice, so I had to make it for him, because I don't want to continue to put myself through that. Because you can continue to be friends to somebody, but if you're not getting that in return, what is the point?
Yeah, well, that's not really friendship, right? So, but like, I mean, you making that decision is a mature decision because you're doing him a favor.
100%.
Sometimes, people, when someone is caught up in a dilemma and you understand, as a friend, you can do them a favor. Say, look, I already see what's happening. I'm just gonna do you a favor and cut it, because the last thing I want is for you to lose what you have because of me. Now, if you got some problems in your relationship that needs to be rectified, then you need to go and rectify that problem, right?
I got nothing to do with me.
Right.
I'm just here minding my business.
For me, I always say this, and this is my thing. If I'm dating anybody, if I'm with you, and I don't care if you're my girl, you got a guy friend, that's cool. Like, I don't care. I just care about how you make me feel.
100%.
Now, if you make me feel like I have a reason to be suspicious of you, then I'm not worried about the person you're friends with, so I'm not going to tell you to cut them off. And that raises questions for me and you now, because now the trust might be, maybe not broken, but it's cracked. You know what I mean? So now we got to figure out what's happening, because I care more about how you make me feel. Same way, if someone says if I'm with someone, they tell me like, you came here and did X, Y, and Z, and made me feel this way. And if I'm dating them, or you're my lady, it's my responsibility to absorb that. And, if I have to apologize for that, and I have to apologize by making sure that going forward, I don't make you feel like, you're second base, or you don't matter, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not important,
I think sometimes when it comes to men, like, especially when they're friends with certain, like, they're friends with girls. There are some girls you have a whole ton of friends, like, fun with. Like, you laugh, you joke, you have just some connection. Like, you just can't explain it. And it's not even on a physical level. Yeah. It's just how you and that person have. But it's like, sometimes, the person wants what's in front of them, and they don't want to let go of what's behind them. So it's like, you want what's in the future, but you still want to hold it. You want your cake and eat it too. But you can't have it that way, because then it's like, now, if you really say you want the best for the person you're with, because I would say all my friends, guys and girls, I want them to be happy. It doesn't matter who it is. As long as this person makes you happy, I'm good with that. And like you said, if I came and I met you and this person was in your life before me, I have no right to ask you to cut anybody off. Yeah. Because it's like, if I'm asking you to cut this person off, then basically I'm trying to order you to be a person that you're not. Yeah. Because when I met you, these people were in your life. Yeah. So now if I'm telling you, cut this person off, who's next? Your mom? I'm gonna tell you cut off your mama and your daddy, because I'm not.
I mean, that happens too, right? It happens. It's reality. It happens. But I mean, if you're with someone that keeps telling you to cut people out of your life, are they also cutting people out of their life?
That's very true.
You know what I mean? Like, very true. I mean, you're asking me to do all of these things,
what
right?
Are you doing?
So, or you don't have anybody in your life that you care enough about to cut off. Like, it's just, we have to be careful how much we ask of our partners.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's imperative that we understand these things.
But I feel like you sometimes only cut off a person if they're a detriment to your relationship.
Yes, and they have to pose like
risk,
a real
like
threat,
serious risk. Like, oh nigga, I'm gonna stab you in your sleep. Like you can't trust this person. They're crazy. They
or this person might try to do something with your partner. Now again, like if you're concerned I mean, look, I'm not saying that if you see someone that's really looking to cause you harm, I'm not saying you should ignore it. You definitely should. I mean, like, they say a dog that will bite you will show you its teeth, right? So you shouldn't ignore it. Like, you should really, pay attention and try and figure out if what you're feeling or what you're thinking or what your instinct is telling you is true. Now, with that being said, if your partner is not someone that you trust to be with this person, then that's another concern as well.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because you're concerned about the person that you feel it might be threatening your relationship, and then you're also concerned that your partner may not, be as trustworthy as you'd like for them to be.
So you have
you know what I'm saying? Like, you have like a double issue right there.
That's very true.
I
feel like no matter what, men and women, friendship is based on respect. And relationships, friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it's also based on respect. Yeah. Because I feel a person who is like confident and also like knows what they have, or they know who they're with, or the person that's in front of them, you don't have no reason to be questioning them. Because if you're coming to, like, if I'm friends with you and I already know from the get get-go, you've not given me any reason for me to think you're disloyal, I can't trust you or anything like that. Why would I now doubt you or question you to now say you can't be friends with this person? Because if you haven't given me a reason to, what reason do I have to ask you to do anything?
Yeah.
But if you've given me reasons to, or if this person basically comes, you're with your partner, she's mad disrespectful, like saying all sorts of nonsense, like while you guys are all that, you need to check that person. I don't feel it's a matter of like basically cutting anybody off. I feel we have a tendency of like sugarcoating a lot of things.
Yeah.
When it comes to our friendship, relationships, we do it a lot.
What I was saying was, if a man and his friend, or a female and her friend, have a very close relationship, so this person, like you were saying before, is there for them. So they go to them for, you know, whenever they're going through anything mentally, emotionally, even if they need something done physically, they're there for them. This is my friend, my best friend. And then you have a partner, and your partner obviously wants to be your best friend. So you want to build that with your partner as well, because you cannot be with someone if you're not friends with them. It just doesn't work. Something that I learned later on in my life, that is necessary to be friends with your partner. So if, let's say, you're trying to build something with your partner, but the person keeps drawing constantly to their friend for that emotional, mental support, and you're not comfortable with it because that puts you in a certain place, and it's absolutely normal, and it's fair, because you want to build that relationship with them, you want that experience with them, and yet they're going somewhere else for it. A lot of times, instead of you just cutting the person over, asking your partner to cut the person because you're not comfortable, you have to have that real conversation to understand what that person truly needs. Like, what is it that you're going to get there that you're not offering, or you're not able to do for them? Because your partner, you want to be able to do all you can for your partner. You want to build that close relationship with them. So it's important that you have that real conversation, because when you have that conversation, it will help you. You will better understand maybe what your partner needs that maybe you're not currently doing for them. Because a lot of times we're very quick to cut, a person off because we're not comfortable with something they may be doing or something they may be saying without having that conversation. But if you have that conversation with them, and there's no success, and there's nothing happening, and and you want to cut that individual off because they're interfering with your life, then that makes sense too, right? I don't know. I just think that it's always important to talk about things. And for me, like, if my partner kept going to her best friend for everything, like, at some point, like, I need to have a conversation with them and say, hey, what's going on? Even if I'm close with the friends as well, or the guy, I want to know, what are you doing that I'm not doing? You know what I mean? Like, I need to understand. This is my lady. What is it? Yeah. And if that person is real, they have a conversation with me and say, hey, because they were there before me, they probably know this person better than me. Maybe they've shared deeper things with this individual more than they have with me, because maybe they're so comfortable with that individual. So I want to have a real conversation, man to man. Hey, this, what I'm saying? Like, obviously, maybe I don't want to, spill everything and let them know, but I just want to know, look, I noticed my girl comes to you for all these things. Why is that? Let them explain to you before you cut the person off. Try and understand. I don't know. That's just, my take on it.
Okay, so last question I have. Do you think that if you have a female or your girlfriend brings in like a new male friend, like let's say all of a sudden, like, you've been with her and stuff, and she never talked about this person, all of a sudden she has this new friend that she's like, how do you feel about that?
No, we're good. We have a good circle. We don't need to add anymore.
No new friends?
No new friends. I'm sorry. You can't. If you had friends before I came,
that's fine.
That's fine. Like, look, for me, the last thing I want is to, if I'm there and I gotta worry about what you're doing, where you're at, calling you, because that's not what I do, trying to figure out, what time you coming, who you with, can you send me a video? I'm sorry. I'm not staying. Like, I don't do that. If I start doing that, I'm telling you, I'm walking, because the trust is gone.
100%.
Right? Now, to come now and say, hey, I just met this guy. He's awesome. He's great. He's going to be my new best friend. Excuse me?
He's going to be gay?
Nah, I don't even care if he was asexual. Not happening. I don't care. Gay or not. I'm telling you, it's not happening.
But sometimes gay guys are like...
Not happening. Not happening. I'm sorry. Not happening. I'm not comfortable. There are men out here who are trying to be gay. And they're not. You know what I mean? Before you know it, it'll be you and Mike dating one girl, but you don't know. You know what I mean? Wow. And women, we all know women are better at hiding things than men are. Women are the best detectives, and it could be right under your nose, and you have zero clue.
I ain't gonna dispute that. You read about that.
So I'm not taking any chances. It's not me and Mike. It's me and me.
What I will say before we
Even if you have a girlfriend and she's a dyke, I'm not doing it. I don't care.
What I will say before we end off on this episode is that, to be honest, I feel sometimes being friends with different guys or having guy friends, like, I have one guy friend, and it's honestly, I can talk to him about everything, even stuff that has to do with, like,